Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our inauguration. Before we start the program, I would just like to offer a land acknowledgement for the land that we are on, and then we'll welcome up to the stage President Lucas Stevens to start our program. Feel free to keep eating and enjoying your drinks and company, but I will start with our land acknowledgement. As a land-grant institution, Utah State University campuses and centers reside and operate on the territories of the 8 tribes of Utah, who have been living, working, and residing on this land from time immemorial. These tribes are from the Confederated Tribes of the Goshu Indians, Navajo Nation, Ute Indian Tribe, Northwestern Band of Shoshone, Paiute Indian Tribe of Utah, San Juan Southern Paiute, Skull Valley Band of Goshute, and White Mesa Band of Ute Mountain Ute. We acknowledge these lands carry the stories of these nations and their struggles for survival and identity. We recognize the elders past and present as people who have cared for and continue to care for the land. In offering this land acknowledgement, we affirm Indigenous self-governance, history, experiences, and resiliency of the Native people who are still here today. With that, I would like to welcome up to the stage Lucas Stevens to start our program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the inauguration of our 2022 to 2023 USUSA officers. We are honored to welcome all incoming officers, family members, friends, involvement, staff, advisors, and all other guests to tonight's ceremony, especially those who have traveled from around the state to be here with us today, and those joining us via live stream. We would also like to recognize and give a special thanks to Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. James Morales, and his wife Angie, and Associate Vice President for Student Affairs, Dr. Eric Olson, for attending tonight. We will begin tonight's ceremony with opening remarks from myself and Dr. Morales. Then we will present the 2022 to 2023 officer team and administer their oaths of office. Finally, we will hear from USUSA President-elect Clara Alder for the inaugural address. So I am honored to speak for just a moment. I'd first like to begin by sharing some of the accomplishments of our USUSA team this last year, and then offer a few pieces of advice to y'all as you can to consider as y'all commence your student government journey. So prior to this position, I served as the USUSA Executive Vice President, and due to COVID, missed many of the important fun experiences that usually come with being a USU student and officer. Throughout this last year, we've simultaneously supported the university's efforts to combat the virus and worked extremely hard to revitalize the Aggie experience. From various weekly themed activities like Weeks of Welcome, Diversity Week, and each specific college's weeks, to marquee events like POBEV, The Howl, Santa Visits Kaysville, and Mardi Gras, we played a critical role in restoring the robust student life only offered through USU. This year brought a fresh statewide focus. The first large group of USUSA officers toured campuses throughout the state. Students on the Eastern Campus voted to join USUSA in an October special election, unifying all Utah State students within our Student Association, and our statewide student body was consistently considered in and participated in policy discussions, coordinating on several of the 9 unique pieces of legislation passed. Our group prioritized initiatives related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We supported Inclusion Center student organizations through attendance and funding, created an official standing inclusion statement for the student body, and advocated for the expansion of DEI training for university faculty and staff. We also saw a 0% increase in student fees, awarded over $200,000 to enhance facilities, and the herd cheered on all sports, especially traditionally poorly attended ones, and encouraged a historic football Mountain West championship and bowl game victory. We learned from a different perspective during our student government exchange trip to UNLV, coinciding with an away game. In Vegas, I was asked to comment at an alumni tailgate event. In the name of comedy, I decided to tell a few jokes about how I had lost a lot of money gambling the night before. They were exaggerated and only slightly true. I talked about how USU's a premier research institution, and I was just researching the beginning stages of addiction. This is all just jokes, Mom. So, and then I joked that, I would win it all back that evening by betting on an Aggie victory, which we did win, by the way. But, and then for some reason, they didn't ask me to speak in another one of those events. I have no idea why. So to appease my degenerate habit, I'll illustrate a piece of advice through a blackjack analogy. So in 21, players place bets, are dealt 2 cards, and choose to hit, receiving another card, or stay, ending their turn. To win, the sum of their cards needs to be closer to 21 without going over, and the dealer goes last. A novice thinks that they're competing against the other players sitting at the table and becomes preoccupied, dwelling on their hands, when in reality, they only need to beat the dealer. So within USUSA, you are not competing against your fellow officers sitting around the table, your advisors, or even university administrators. Leave the notion of a zero-sum game at the door. Another's win is not your loss. Rather, I believe that you'll most often be playing against a set of circumstances dealt to you by bureaucratic incentives, history, and just life. Support, collaborate, and share your ideas with one another. Do not vilify or defame, instead assume good intentions and trust others. Our student government provides an extremely unique workplace environment. You were each independently elected or appointed to your positions with an individual agenda and prerogative. It's a melting pot of differing priorities, ages, temperaments, etc., thrown together primarily by our student body. It's likely you may have personal history, hold contradicting opinions, or become irritated with another officer. Amidst these very real factors that seem to stack the deck against your group working as a team, there must be a unifying undertone, something that each of you can share. So the USUSA Constitution's preamble states that it's established for and by the students for the betterment of each student's academic experience, student life, and the university community. Students are your beneficiaries. Everything you do should be for them. And when there are disagreements, you should view them through the lens of what benefits students. Then disagreements can be respectfully resolved, personal preferences put aside, and what's being done for validation or vendetta will be brought to light as such. For my concluding thoughts, I recently found a fitting Greek proverb. A society grows great when old men plant trees, the shade of which they know they will never sit. They know they will never sit in. Our student government has an extremely high turnover rate. You're beginning a one-year journey while also carrying other responsibility. Time flies. Adopt a sense of urgency, but also realize that your impact might not be visible for years to come. Your thankless work, getting the ball rolling, can result in meaningful changes. Just trust the process. In pursuing your goals, I encourage you to be flexible. When realities come to light as you take meetings and advance initiatives, you may need to pivot. By burning bridges in an uncompromising drive for a specific change, you can win a battle but lose a war. I urge you to act for the better of the order. Lastly, please know that your greatest influence is sure to come through personal interactions and relationships. I think that the most important thing you can do with your platform is lift others up and mentor tomorrow's student leaders. Help students feel seen and realize that they have a home here because they have a friend here. In conclusion, I urge you to work collaboratively as a team, focus on students, and leave USUSA better than you found it. I'm thrilled to witness all you accomplish this year and learn over the next, and learn, and more importantly, the students' days that you'll make. I have complete faith in each of you. I know many of you, and I am very secure and confident that our university and its students are in good hands. So I would now like to introduce Dr. James Morales, USU Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Morales was appointed Vice President for Student Affairs at Utah State University on June 1st, 2009. He earned his Bachelor's of Arts in Speech Communication from the University of Utah and his PhD in Higher Education Policy and Administration from the University of Minnesota. Dr. Morales is also a graduate of the Institute for Educational Management at Harvard University's Graduate School of Education. Prior to joining Utah State University, Dr. Morales served for more than 17 years in various admissions, enrollment management, and student affairs capacities in the University of Minnesota system and the University of Connecticut and at UConn. He has additionally worked in human resources and as a private sector consultant on workplace issues. Dr. Morales enjoys traveling, reading, running, and spending time with his family. He is fluent in Spanish and Japanese and is active in university, community, and religious activities. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Morales.
One of these days, I'll grow a little taller, and the mic can stay where it was. This is one of my favorite and least favorite events of the year. I bet you know why. I have to say goodbye to some young people that I have grown to admire and with whom I've spent just some amazing experiences and countless hours helping to shape the future and the present of this great institution. And it really is a privilege. For you parents of those outgoing officers, thank you for the privilege that you granted us to have this time with them. And to those the parents of the incoming officers, some of which are repeat officers. Ethan, for example, has another year with us, and so we get a double dose of Ethan Conley, which is wonderful. I could take a triple dose if needed, okay? Or if you can do that. But I'm, again, grateful to be here with you tonight. I want to talk to both the outgoing officers and the incoming officers and congratulate the new ones and thank the other officers with all of my heart for their contributions, for their sacrifices, and their great work. I am grateful for the time I was privileged to spend with each of these amazing leaders, and I am excited about the opportunities I'll have during the coming year to work closely with the new team of officers. This is also a unique year in that, as Lucas and others will mention, that this is the first time we have a new statewide structure for our student government fully in place. And this group of officers will help lay the foundation for the future of what that looks like in terms of all of our statewide campuses, including the Logan campus, now unified under one student government. So this is a unique year for us. What I want to share with you outgoing officers and you incoming officers is this. When this inauguration is over and we go our separate ways to our homes and apartments for the remainder of the semester, and then to wherever we're headed for the summer, I hope you will remember the oath you will take tonight. As you do so, I want to offer you a key decision-making strategy that can help you live up to this oath during the coming year. This strategy that I'm going to offer you is best illustrated by referencing a theory known as the butterfly effect. In Ray Bradbury's classic science fiction story, A Sound of Thunder, we learn about a man named Eccles who in the year 2055 travels back 65 million years to shoot a dinosaur Warned not to deviate from the planned path, Eccles, along with his guide, heads off to kill the Tyrannosaurus Rex, who was going to die soon anyway. Eccles panics at the sight of the huge creature and steps off the path, leaving his guide to kill the T-Rex. The guide is enraged and orders Eccles to remove the bullets before they return to 2055. After arriving back home, they are confused to find the world has changed. Language is altered, and an evil dictator now rules the world. Eccles then notices a crushed butterfly stuck to his boot and realizes that in stepping off the path, he killed the insect and changed the future. Bradbury writes, Eccles felt himself fall into a chair. He fumbled crazily at the thick slime on his boots. He held up a clod of dirt, trembling. No, it cannot be. Not a little thing like that. No. Embedded in the mud, glistening green and golden black, was a butterfly, a very beautiful and very dead butterfly. Not a thing like that, not a butterfly, cried Eccles. It fell to the floor, an exquisite thing, a small thing that could upset balances and knock down a line of small dominoes, and then big dominoes, and then gigantic dominoes, all down through the years, across time. Eccles' mind whirled. It couldn't change things. Killing one butterfly couldn't be that important, could it? The butterfly effect centers upon the idea that even the smallest step one takes in life can change the course of their life and possibly others' lives immensely. The name of this theory is rooted in chaos theory, which states, it has been said that something as small as the flutter of a butterfly's wing can ultimately cause a typhoon halfway around the world. We face myriad choices every day of our lives. Should I eat oatmeal or Fruit Loops? Should I wear jeans or chinos? Should I study or play Rocket League? Should I go out with that person or another person? Right versus left, up versus down, anger versus love, peanut butter sandwich versus turkey and wheat. Each one of these choices is an example of the butterfly effect and illustrates the idea that one of these choices versus another could greatly affect one's life. But is this really true? Can a single simple choice change the course of one's life or the world? The truth of the matter is, there is no way to predict with exactness which outcome or outcomes will result from our actions. So, if there's no concrete way to tell which outcome will accrue from our choice, what should we do? Here's what I think, and this is the strategy. If we cannot possibly know with complete certainty where a particular choice will lead, then wouldn't it be best to simply choose the option that could result in the desired outcome? In other words, if you want to make a batch of chocolate chip cookies, then wouldn't it be best to follow a recipe for chocolate chip cookies rather than a recipe for spaghetti? The likelihood that a delicious chocolate chip cookie will come somehow miraculously from a spaghetti recipe is infinitely less than the possibility that a chocolate chip cookie will result from a chocolate chip cookie recipe. In the end, spending your precious time and energy trying to determine whether your choice may possibly result in something you never could have anticipated is like trying to decipher whether the flapping of the butterfly's wings actually created the typhoon. There is simply no way for us, with our finite human capacity, to trace the path from the flapping of the butterfly's wings to a tremendous destructive storm on the other side of the world. But we do know that if we spend our time making and acting upon productive, positive choices, the likelihood is extremely high that that will result in a positive, productive outcome. Time is precious, and life is time. Don't squander yours, you outgoing officers, or you incoming officers, on choices that you know will hamper your happiness and hinder your progress toward those goals you want to achieve most. I encourage you to invest your time, your talents, and your energy as a USUSA officer, and in your personal lives for those of you outgoing officers, in those choices that will bring you what you most desire. Doing so will ultimately increase your chances of success, fulfillment, and happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Morales. We appreciate all you and Dr. Olson do for USUSA student government and the USU student body. So thank you. It's now my honor to present the 2022 to 2023 student body officers of the Utah State University Student Association. Officers, as your name is read, I invite you to join me on stage and take your seat. After all officers' names have been read, I will have the privilege of swearing in President-elect Alder, who will then administer the oaths of office to the entire team. So we will begin in the academic senate. So the senator for the King College of Arts is Scott Nelson. The senator for the College of Agriculture and Applied Sciences is Cade Cox. The senator for the College of Engineering is Brittany Nkrumah. The senator for the College of Humanities and Social Sciences is Carter Otley. The senator for the College of Science is Gabriella Kale. The senator for the Emma Eccles Jones College of Education and Human Services is Adriana Mortensen. The senator for the John M. Huntsman School of Business is Sadie Jensen. The senator for the School of Graduate Studies is Sarah Pope. The senator for the S.J. and Jesse E. Quinney College of Natural Resources is Abigail McKay. Let's give another round of applause for our academic senate. We will now present the officers for the Logan campus and statewide campus executive councils and service region councils. So from the Blanding service region, the Blanding campus recreation representative is J.C. Saetsiti. The Blanding inclusion representative is Courtney Greenwood. The Blanding service representative is Rihanna James. And the Blanding vice president is Hunter Warren. Serving as the Brigham City representative is Emily Davies. Serving as a Kaysville representative is Jenny Gerard. Also serving as a Kaysville representative is Denise Lovelace. And the Brigham City vice president is Jasmine Sorensen. From the Eastern Service Region, the Eastern Athletics and Campus Recreation representative is Colin Grant. The Eastern Bachelor, Non-Traditional, and Alumni representative is Haley Mortensen. The Eastern Clubs and Organizations representative is Elizabeth Foley. The Eastern Diversity representative is Brenda Melendez. The Eastern Traditions and Events coordinator is Sailor Jensen. God, I'm so nervous that I'm just going to miss somebody as I'm going down this. I need to keep my finger on. Okay, Sailor Jensen, all right. The Eastern Operations Manager is Kyler Minke. The Eastern Public Relations Manager is Molly Horsley. The Eastern Chief of Staff is Mary Thane. The Eastern Student Events Director is Tiara Addison. The Eastern Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Director is Mira Beecher. The Eastern Student Advocate is Brooklyn Ward. And the Eastern Vice President is Sophia Crompton. From the Logan campus, the Logan Activities Director is Jessica Ulrich. The Logan Series Director is Ann Peterson. The Logan Traditions Director is Bree Adams. The Logan Public Relations Director is Ellie Brown. The Logan Athletics and Campus Recreation Executive Director is Ryder Sasser. The Logan Diversity and Organizations Executive Director is Noah Ivega. The Logan Student Events Executive Director is Dakota Oldham. And the Logan Vice President is Eric Vogt. From the Moab Service Region, the Moab Vice President is Jamie Reedhead. From the Southwest Service Region, the Southwest representative is Emily Burton. The Southwest Vice President is Sherry Callister. From the Tooele Service Region, the Tooele representative is Braxton Evans. The Tooele Vice President is Julie Andrews. From the Uinta Basin Service Region, the Roosevelt representative is Kaylee Williams. The Vernal representative is Megan Solga. The Uinta Basin Vice President is Lindsay Cook. From the Wasatch Service Region, the Orem representative is Joshua Martin. The Salt Lake representative is Jocelyn Padilla Terrazes. I apologize. The Washington Vice President is Natoya Chung. Let's give another round of applause for the 2022 to 2023 Logan and statewide officers. We will now present the USUSA Executive Leadership Board. The USUSA Chief of Staff is Nicholas Spalding. The USUSA Student Advocate Vice President is Ethan Conley. The USUSA Executive Vice President is Abraham Rodriguez. And the USUSA Student Body President is Clara Alder. Please join me one more time in welcoming your 2022 to 2023 USUSA student government. So I'll now administer the oath of office to President Alder. Clara, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
Hold up. There we go. I, Clara Grace Alder,
Promise to uphold
promise to uphold
the student code and policies of Utah State University.
the student code and policies of Utah State University.
I also promise to uphold
I also promise to uphold
the Constitution of the Utah State University Student Association,
the Constitution of the Utah State University Student Association,
and to carry out the duties and responsibilities
and to carry out the duties and responsibilities
of my respective position, description, and office.
of my respective position, description, and office.
And I will represent Utah State University
I will represent Utah State University
in a manner that will promote a positive image
in a manner that will promote a positive image
and continued growth for all who attend and visit the institution.
and continued growth for all who attend and visit the institution.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Lucas. And can we give Lucas another hand for all of his hard work this year? I have big shoes to fill. I think they're size 14. Okay. Well, it is my honor to now swear in the 2022-2023 USUSA Student Government. Officers, please stand. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Promise to uphold the student code and policies of Utah State University. I also promise to uphold the Constitution of the Utah State University Student Association. And to carry out the duties and responsibilities of my respective position, description, and office. I will represent Utah State University in a manner that will promote a positive image and continued growth for all who attend and visit the institution. You may now be seated. Wow, that was a long time coming. Does it feel good? Good. I want to take a moment to truly savor this. This marks a significant moment in history, the beginning. This is the beginning of great things. It is amazing to be in this room. What an incredible group of people. I am proud of the work that each of you has done to dedicate your time for running for office and completing trainings. I can't express how excited I am to work with all of you. Thank you to everyone who's traveled from our statewide campuses to be here. I want to do something kind of unique. So if you have traveled from outside of Cache Valley, officers, family members, people who are here supporting, will you please stand? I'd like to give you a round of applause. This is a special year. This is Utah State. The fact that we are all here from all over the state is quite wonderful. This is a special year as we unite our USUSA leadership from across the state and create a more inclusive community to our students. None of us would be here without the support of our advisors, our friends, our family, and others. We have a lot of people to thank. I want to recognize the members of the 2021-2022 USUSA Council for a tremendous year of service, leadership, and dedication. I also want to recognize the members of committees within USUSA for volunteering their time, their efforts, and serving on behalf of students and being a key part of bringing this university community together. I want to thank all of the advisors, the staff, the mentors who work with student leaders and who empower us. Thank you to the university for supporting our efforts. I'd also like to thank President Noelle Cockett and her administration for working with students and for prioritizing us, especially this past year as we've been able to bring back student life in in-person classes and events. As we look at this council, these tremendous leaders have benefited from all of the support from family and from friends and peers. So thank you to all of the support systems for believing in these officers. And now, to this new year, newly sworn in officers on the USUSA Council, I am so excited for our leadership together. I am thrilled to be serving alongside you. Although 12 months may, to some, seem like a long time, in reality, it is going to go by very quickly. I know that we are all anxious to get going on our initiatives and our goals. This year, more than any other year, we stand as one. One student body connected and collaborating on every inch of the state. We stand as one. As one, we care and we protect our community. As one, we support and uplift the people around us. As one, we work and enhance the systems in place. As one, we represent and we lead with passion. To each of the newly sworn in officers, I pledge to be faithful to our mission as leaders, to support you and to serve our entire student body. As this is a special year for USUSA, this is the first time that every location within our USU community, now including USU Eastern, will be under the same organizational structure. Together we are strong, together we can achieve, and together we are a community that cares. May we unite in serving students. Congratulations to this group of leaders. Now let's get to work. Before we conclude this ceremony, we want to thank catering and event services for the wonderful services that they've provided for us tonight, as well as the student involvement and leadership staff for arranging the event. May we please give them a round of applause. We thank President Stevens for conducting tonight's ceremony, and Dr. Morales and Dr. Olson for joining us this evening. Finally, we thank all of our friends and family again for attending us and continuing your love and support for us officers. Officers will take a group photo in a couple of minutes, so please stick around, but we'll also have, you guys already know this, but we'll have games and refreshments at 8:30 in the Eccles. But thank you again for attending tonight. We'll take a group photo, so if you guys want to grab your cameras, but have a great night and travel safe.
Everybody find a window. Good speech, Doc. Yes.
Wait, what are you doing?
That was great teamwork.
Thank you.
We are a team. We are a team.
Everybody, how important you